Okay. So, we're live. Welcome back, everyone. This is the second half of the Phantasma recap, Road to Dark Tournament summary.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering episodes 12 to episode 21. I'm back again with Battery Batty as Naoki,
Hello, how's everybody doing?
and joined by the myth, the legend herself, Noodle Laser. Noodle, say hi. Noodle?
Gosh darn it, muted again.
God damn it!
I'm here.
Every
Noodles.
fucking time!
Noodle,
No.
Noodle's iconic joke always being muted.
Listen, I had to sneeze. That would not have been appealing.
Oh, fair enough.
Aw. Well, Noodle, happy to have you here for the second half of the recap.
Yeah. Now that we got that
Hello.
lame-ass Dan out of here.
Oh my gosh, DN. Such a cool dude.
Yeah. Before we jump into episode 12, Noodle, I sent you the thingy you could see some of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
Is there any old moments that you remember standing out that you really liked from the earlier ones?
Kunai almost fucking died.
Kunai's almost died quite a bit.
lot,
You're gonna have to be
yeah.
more specific.
Yeah,
She
because
She is squimshy. So they had a fight with Keelan, and she was specifically targeted for murder by said being because he's
we're
like,
about to go over that one. It was more. Is there one from like episodes 1 through 11, like before the Kulin fight?
Gotcha. I did. My favorite so far has been the fight with Hiei because that was good. That was good.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
We're talking about how, like, Kunai basically just tore that fight open a new one.
Yeah, it was fucking good.
Oh.
Did good through that one. I liked and this is something I wanted to do with you on the call too. The Gentaro Kunai moment where you got super emotional at the beach. I thought that was really, really good, and I wanted you to like be here when I told you that.
Oh, thanks, friend.
It was good. You absorbed everything that was Gentaro and made it Kunai, and now Kunai is super powerful.
I'm sad. I made him sad.
We'll tell people why in a minute. We haven't gotten there yet.
I'll play the violin even though I don't have any violins.
But yeah, so I guess we can kind of jump into episode 12 then. We'll go right into Castle Crashers.
Okay.
So from where the party had left off last, when when Shulin had awoken and basically threatened to destroy the party and May's castle, he tore the entire thing down. Hence why we call it Castle Crashers. Like, he brought the entire palace down on them. They had to run through and break through like wooden vines he was having stretch out through the entirety of it. Shulin is a wood demon who controls trees, natures, and forests. Daisuke managed to nick off a piece of Byakuya when he was essentially tree crucified in the lava room. But it ended with the party making it out of May's castle successfully. Naoki ended up with Marugu, Suzaku's old bird who was coming back from shopping. And the party had their big major boss fight with an original character. And I loved everything about having Shulin ready to go. I was waiting so long to use that.
He was really cool.
Shulin was a very fun fight and a very scary fight.
Oh, you say it's scary.
It
was horrendously terrifying.
I think it's good that we have you specifically here for this, Noodle, because during that fight there was a big Naoki moment, but before that there was a big Kunai moment.
Yeah.
Kunai going down and then getting to speak to somebody for the first time. And everybody was on mute, so they didn't actually hear what I said to you.
I was contacted by a being that's just like, see you soon, okay, bye. And then I got roided out with power.
Yeah, your first taste of what Giganshi was an actual Giganshi form, which you wouldn't get until level 10. You got a taste of that early on.
Now,
You gave me emotional whiplash with that cable. I thought she was going to die, and then you gave me, like, ultimate power, and it felt good.
Now, what was the caveat to do that exactly? That triggered that event
So,
I needed to get a natural 20.
on a death saving throw.
yeah, which is what triggered it. And for anybody who's not aware of what a Mazaku is in the Yu Yu Hakusho format, Mazaku are humans who have latent demon genes that trace back far into their lineage. The criteria for a Mazaku to sort of awaken to these powers is their body needs to naturally be strong enough, and they need to have a high enough reserve of energy, and then they have to die. Either the first or the second time. If they die when they're not strong enough to do it, they'll just die, and the lineage will just keep getting passed down. Kunai has died before, as we've stated, but this time when she fought against Shulin, she was stronger, which is what allowed that connection to be made this time.
Kind of like what happened to Yusuke in the series.
Yeah.
Except it wasn't so much a possession as it was like a loaning of power. As Kunai evolved and Shulin freaked out seeing you, what is the big Naoki moment?
Okay, so, this was a weird fight. There was a lot of things coming at us from all angles. Shulin's a dick. But Naoki the entire time kept finding various different things to fuck with Shulin. Either by trying to break the orbs that he was using to shoot projectiles at us, or using his Chains of the Abyss to basically pin him down. However, during the last move a party member made on Shulin before he went down was by Naoki, who rolled a really fucking good natural 20 that he used his special attack on top of it, which is a once per day thing, by the way. By doing so, he precisely did in one attack 100 damage to Shulin, and we flavored it as, because Naoki's a wind demon, he basically spun himself so fast to where his body was like almost as if he was a demonic tornado, and he spun through Shulin's chest and out the other side.
You pureed him.
I pureed the motherfucker. And that was like Naoki's second boss kill, and to this day, that is the most damage that has been done on a single attack in Final Phantasma. Now, there has been more damage done in a single turn, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little later on. That's another 7 episodes before that's a beaten.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the party, beaten and bruised from Suzaku fight, took down Shulin. Cool ass kunai moment where she temporarily awakened her Mazuku form, and Naoki blended a literal demon god. That was pretty fun.
Shulin was to fight the party. You brought this up of Naoki targeting orbs. He had 4 orbs surrounding him, which he could use to release different attacks based on the Saint Beasts. They managed to break 3 out of the 4 orbs, which were the orbs of Seiryu, Genbu, and Byakuo. Because Suzaku's orb was not destroyed in the fight with Shulin, when Shulin died, Suzaku resurrected as a small sort of chibi-ish-like form until he regains his full demonic powers later. And they took Suzaku with them. So they manhandled and kidnapped one of the Saint Beasts, the strongest of the Saint Beasts.
Yeah.
Yup.
Also, it was completely coincidental that we rescued specifically Suzaku. We did not know that would happen if we spared the orbs. Had we known that, I don't know if we would have tried to kill all of the orbs or none of them.
I have a feeling you would have killed Genbu because you didn't want him.
I'm gonna put this.
Genbu is a bad. Oh, you used that one?
Oh,
We can't use the actual Suzaku.
well, I can put the other Suzaku pick up here too, that you drew.
No, I was just like, oh wow, you guys used that one. It's fine.
Oh,
Use it.
yeah, I love that one.
Now imagine this, but for those who are familiar with Hunter x Hunter, like if he had a Shia poof form.
A tiny man's.
Yeah,
You know, we never drew Chibi Suzaku. One of us should do that.
Yeah. But as you can
Oh,
see,
you should have put the. We'll save that one. We can't. I don't want. I almost spoiled something.
don't worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna put these Suzakus in the corner for now.
Look, I have a problem. Just leave me alone.
For the most part, that was most of what had happened. The party got a nice vacation for episode 13.
So, before we move on to episode 13, I just want to point out Naoki did go back to the priest guy, and he basically patted him on the back and was like, "Hey, I killed your god. See ya."
Yeah. Oh god, you really flaunted that. So, episode 13, Hot Springs and Fun Things.
Let me change the title real quick. So, as you were saying, Cable.
Yeah. Hot Springs and Fun Things. That was more just, that was another casual session like the beach episode, so there wasn't anything monumentous that had happened. But we had more NPCs to play around with this time, so they got to go to a hot springs village with Naomi, Daisuke's gang, the Osaka Screaming Skulls, who were delegated to background characters. Honda and Akira couldn't go because they were stuck training with Genkai. Although Genkai shows up later because she's like making them work out while she's on break. And she actually bankrupts a character who will soon be in the campaign that was centered around our good friend Blackjack K9.
Huh.
Let's see. But for most of the people who showed up at the village, Kunai had Gentaro with her. Naoki, funnily enough, got to see Hideki, and one of the women from the missing husband's case was there with Hideki's 8-year-old son Hiroki, who was named after his uncle Pyro. Pyro's real name is Hiroki, is what you find out in this one too.
There he is. That's Hideki's son.
He's only 8. He loves his dad very much, and he just thinks his dad is a normal detective. He doesn't know what his dad does for work.
He's a good boy.
He's a very, very good kid. And one thing I particularly love about having Hiroki around is he does not know Naoki's name and only refers to Naoki as Mr. Tanuki, because that is what Naoki pretended to be, to make him smile.
Naoki basically pretended to be a Tanuki and transformed into different things.
Very adorable moment.
There is actually something with Naoki that I think we glanced over.
Mm-hmm.
I brought Jin into human world.
Right. Naoki got Jin his probation and showed Jin the sky for the first time. And you got to watch Jin lose his mind with festival food.
Yup.
If Jin and Naoki weren't brothers before, they certainly are now.
Mm-hmm. Also, another good point too, Kunai had a bonding moment with Mitsuki.
That's right.
Yeah.
You and her got along. She was like, you and her went and played a bunch of different festival games together. And she had a good time with you.
Yeah, even if it was initially by force.
You know you like her.
Yeah.
It was a really nice episode. They got to soak in hot spring water. They got to check out a fireworks festival. They got to just explore a village, get like a bunch of food, and just meet a lot of people they might not have normally talked to all the time. Even Yamada got to go and relax. He didn't have to do work for once.
Yeah.
Hot Springs and Fun Things was only the second casual episode we've ever had. So the first one was episode 5, and then it took you guys 8 episodes to get another break.
There was also that moment where Naoki had like a weird, not heart to heart, but he had a nice drink with his mom, which I think was fun.
Mm-hmm. She gave you like a forehead like pat. Like she put her forehead against yours and gave you a hug, and told you she was proud of you.
Yeah, she's obviously playing a game to you know.
Naoki doesn't want to admit it. He loves his mom.
Dude, shut the
He loves
fuck
his
up.
mama.
Shut the fuck up.
Aww, little mama's boy.
That bitch is the devil. Well, I guess she is a demon.
Episode 14, I think. Was there anything else in episode 13?
No, we just had quality time with our NPCs and had relaxing,
Yep.
you know, party times.
There was a lot of fun antics that occurred, but like nothing of like super note as far as like characters or plot. So
Well, I have to admit, my favorite things is hearing the things that happen with Genkai, like her just destroying all of the games.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Genkai was savage. She bankrupted a poor blackjack dealer.
As well as pretty much broke all of the carnival games.
Yeah, no, she wanted everything.
that's
Genkai is a monster. But moving into episode 14, it's called a normal outing because nothing eventful happened. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, some stuff did happen. Kunai went to go purchase an engagement ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to go purchase an engagement ring. You guys went to go see Bunta again over in Roppongi. Just to get
Are we just gonna skip over the best NPC we've met this entire game? The fucking diamond store owner.
Oh, yeah, the old shady dude.
He's pretty great.
He was.
I feel bad for him.
He was like both shady and also the most wholesome person we've met.
Kunai reminded him of his daughter who couldn't get married, so he gave her a discount on the ring.
Yeah.
And he seems like a really scummy dude. You know what? I like doing that. I like presenting scummy characters and showing that they can still be good people even though they look scummy.
Yeah.
Just because they look scummy doesn't mean he's bad. He was a very nice person. He looked dirty.
Yeah.
Also, Naoki almost bought Mitsuki a katana.
Almost.
Almost.
It was a black club katana, so Daisuke and Mitsuki went outside to eat ice cream while Kunai and Naoki tried to figure this out.
That's right. Did we tell about what Junko told Naoki?
We didn't cover that. So at the hot springs thing, Junko gave Naoki basically a signed thing from her old status as being a black club member. She told him straight out, "This will get them off your back and clear your debt. In exchange, you are not allowed to have Daisuke or Mitsuki anywhere near the black club."
Okay, here's another thing. Did we establish that Junko was a black club member in this recap?
We might not have established it.
Okay, so we at this point in time know that at least specifically Naoki and Kunai would have known that Junko formerly was affiliated with the Black Club somehow.
Yes.
And
actually, no, she wouldn't have told you till the Hot Springs episode. That's why we haven't said it yet.
That's why. Okay, so just to recap, that happened. She gave a note, basically, get out jail free card, potentially for the Black Club to Naoki, and basically she told Naoki is if he involved Mitsuki or Daisuke in anything involved with Black Club activity, she would kill him. Am I misremembering that, Cable?
There's some fear in your voice from it. It was if Mitsuki or Daisuke get involved in the Black Club stuff and she finds out that you are responsible for it, she will kill you.
That's right.
So if they get involved and you're not responsible, she wasn't going to kill you, but she's still pissed about it.
So when I found the katana that like had the Black Club engraving and Mitsuki wanted it and I was about to buy it for her, I realized, oh wait, shit, I can't buy this for her or Junko's going to literally murder me.
I think it was me who actually realized it though, and I had to just sort of subtly tell you without Mitsuki noticing.
That's right, you saved Naoki's ass.
Yeah.
If she would have went back home with that, she'd have killed you.
That would have been sad.
What? No? You guys as Daisuke and Mitsuki were outside eating ice cream and you guys continued to walk, Daisuke nat one, and that is how they bumped into younger Toguro, who was looking for them.
Now,
Was he, or were you just being a jerk?
He was.
Why
so
was he looking for us?
you basically told us, and I'll pull up a very special and fitting picture for this.
Yes.
Um, so you basically told us how Toguro, out of all the places we could have gone that day, we went to the one that specifically the Toguros were at.
Yeah, you were in Roppongi, and that's where a lot of that Black Club stuff was going on, so he was in the area anyway. So he wasn't, like, looking for you, Noodle. It's just so much that if he had happened to come across you, he was going to do it.
Oh.
It's just unfortunate. You guys were just in the wrong place at the right time.
You didn't say what it was either.
What?
You said he was going to do it.
Oh, it is he strong-armed them into competing in the Dark Tournament. Basically as his contingency plan for Urameshi.
But she also still challenged because it's canon.
Yup. So Takuro's time in doing this is after he's destroyed the building where Urameshi is. Well, no, he met you guys, told you to meet him back here, and then left. And then after he did the things with Urameshi, he came back and got you. That whole episode is a jumble. I just remember him doing it. The long and short is after they visited Roppongi, found a hospital that they couldn't get into for some reason, and learned of it being like under potential Black Club control. They had to meet with Toguro again in Roppongi, and they sent Mitsuki off because Mitsuki was with them and Toguro was threatening her. Daisuke was pissed about it. Toguro showed them what 60% of his power looks like and chucked a light post over into like the nearby mountain range.
Yup.
And with that threat, told them that they aren't obligated at all to compete in the Dark Tournament, but then made little comments like gesturing to Naoki about Hiroki, just saying, you know, red hair doesn't stain as easily as other colors do. Or threatening Kunai that, like, oh, marriage can be such a beautiful thing, hopefully nothing happens.
Now, Naoki didn't want to come back after that, like, or he made it seem like he wasn't going to do it, but like he like pretended like he skipped town or something, but he actually snuck back to make sure or to check on what was happening, and Toguro knew he was there.
Yeah, Toguro was watching. He knew.
It's like, oh, god damn it. Well, shit.
With those threats in mind, you all... Why don't you guys tell me, what was the feeling being threatened by Toguro and strong-armed into a tournament?
You know how you said that it was like his very presence caused you like nausea and anxiety? I was actually feeling nausea and anxiety.
I'm like, oh, god damn it, I know how Yusuke feels.
Yeah. We did an oopsie whoopsie.
Like,
Yeah.
when I first started the campaign, I envisioned like something like this happening later on, but we were pretty sure that we weren't actually going to have to fight in the Dark Tournament at this point, and we could probably bypass it. And then the realization of, oh wait, he's actually threatening the characters that like Naoki like actually wants to see not die. So at that point I'm like, oh wait, fuck, goddammit, Cable, you somehow tricked me.
Yeah, you developed connections.
You a bamboozle.
You bamboozled me, you motherfucker.
You tried to go cold-hearted through this whole thing. Like, if I don't have connections, he can't threaten me with anything.
You lured me into a false sense of security, you asshole.
Yeah, and it was right after you met Hiroki, too.
It
And from
was.
the interactions you had with him at the hot springs, you made it very clear you didn't want anything bad to happen to that little boy.
Yeah.
Or Hideki, for that matter.
Nope.
Because, spoiler alert to the party, Naoki likes Hideki.
Shut the fuck up.
He's trying to be tsundere about it.
Shut the fuck up.
He wants to hold Hideki down and smooch butts.
Okay, that one we saved for the after school. Well, I guess not after school. After dark.
The 18 plus panel.
The 18 plus podcast.
I mean, we've said fuck more often than not on this already.
I mean,
And
We're already
fair
past
enough.
being child friendly.
Immediately, we said fuck it within the first 5 minutes. We're already demonetized.
Yeah, no, fuck this. But for that whole episode was mostly you guys having to deal with the Taguro stuff. Things don't really pick up again until episode 15, which is Tonal Shift. Like, the ending of that was you getting threatened into the Dark Tournament.
Yeah. So this is basically the start of episode 15, right?
Yeah. You called Yusuke too, and that's how you got the information on him tearing down a fucking, like, parking complex to strong-arm Yusuke into it.
Yeah.
Tonal Shift actually starts out in a couple different ways. It's like when you get back to the office, Mitsuki had already told Junko about what had happened, and Junko told Yamada. So, by the time you get back, Junko had a conversation with Daisuke and actually revealed to him, because Taguro's last words to Daisuke before he left was "Sakyo says hi," which was something me and Dan had planned for a while, which was the reveal that Sakyo is Daisuke's biological father, and that him and Mitsuki are half siblings. But Daisuke didn't know that, or he didn't know about his actual real dad. He just thought it was some dead dude. And
Now,
from there, that was when you all learned for the first time that Sakyo is Daisuke's father.
now, question: is this also when Naoki makes the promise to Mitsuki about keeping Daisuke safe?
Yes, I believe it was a conversation you had with her while she was sitting outside the room.
So I think it is along the lines of if Naoki can't bring Daisuke back alive, he gave Mitsuki the permission to rip his head off, I think.
More or less.
Yeah, so just as like a playful little like bastard to bastard like sort of promise that he's gonna watch out for Daisuke.
One very important thing from episode 14, which is why I probably should have put more notes on there for this. Kunai started looking into meeting her Giganchi family.
Yep, that's right.
And by the events of this, after Junko has spoken with Daisuke and they had that heart to heart, and then you guys talk with Yamada, who's trying to arrange something. Genkai's busy training Yusuke because that's her successor, so she can't teach you guys anything this time. But you all get split ways for 3 months to go through some very intensive training. Well, no, you split ways for 1 month to go through intensive training.
I took two best boys with me, Hiei and Pyro.
Now,
Where did you go, Kunai?
I went to the Makai to find the demon family.
And what did you think of the demon family you found?
I love them.
The
I love them
Giganchi.
so much.
we've
They're
got.
so good.
Oh wait, I need to remove this one. This isn't the one with the bio. So, here we go. Who's this lad's name?
This is Ryoji. He's over 700 years old. He is a natural Giganchi, and he is Kunai's ancestral father.
Yeah.
He also has a very lovely wife named Michi, who, upon first meeting Kunai, tried very hard to emulate human culture because she didn't know how to make Kunai feel welcome, but she really, really wanted to try. Michi is a little sweet bean.
She's super nice.
Which we don't have art for her yet, but I imagine she looks a lot like Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle.
A little bit.
There was another family member that we have art for.
Oh yeah. What's this? Kunai also met an older cousin she has named Kagura. And looking at them both, she really does look like she could be Ryuji's daughter.
Yeah.
Kunai's feral cousin Kagura, who was actually the one who trained her in that time period for the Dark Tournament. Ryuji assisting with her controlling her energy, but Kagura getting her muscles strong.
Muscles.
While Kunai was doing this, she took Pyro and Hiei with her, who both subsequently went and fucked off to a deeper pit of the Makai and came back with singed arms, but looking very satisfied with themselves.
For those who don't know, Pyro is the class that's based off of Hiei.
He's based off of Hiei's like black flame abilities, not so much his Jagan Eye abilities.
Yeah.
Originally, him and Noodle were the same class but different paths, but they've been retooled into two different classes for themselves. But Pyro trained with them for about a month, and him and Hiei both developed insanely powerful Jagan black flame abilities that nobody has yet to see them use just yet.
Nope.
And I forcefully adopted them.
Pyro just likes the attention.
He does.
You also finally gave him that high five you owed him.
I did. Listen, that was the dice screwing me over on that cable. Don't you blame this on me.
I'm gonna blame it on you.
I love him. He's a good boy.
Hey, my name's Pyro. Kunai doesn't high five me.
Yeah.
Patty, how could you?
And if you're wondering why Pyro is right there, along with the other, that's because he was my original OC, just in case you didn't see the first recap. I love him. And he's used to represent me on the character thing.
He's a super fucking dork and we all love him. Just like the real Cable.
Yeah.
Aw, shut the fuck up. Anyways, Daisuke went and trained with Kuroko, the first spirit detective, and the one who comes before Sensui.
And also a spirit racist.
Yes. Dan covered the spirit racism with her.
It was very convenient that Dan chose to not bring any demons with him to train.
Yeah, he would have had to deal with like some demon bigotry. But he had a good training session with her. She helped him calm down and really find inner zen. And the last thing he got was a prediction from her husband, who was able to read the future through people's palms. And he got information that should he meet a familial energy in the future, it's his choice on how he'll react to it. And where did Naoki go?
Okay, so we have Kunai, who brought, Hiei, Pyro. Makes sense. They all have similar abilities and similar mindsets about things. We had Daisuke, who took two spirit agents who specifically used Reiki to train with the first spirit detective, so just spiritually aware people.
Yes, it was Honda and Akira.
Meanwhile, the demons got to party in the Makai. Naoki brought Jin, who, was with him already because he invited him to Human World. He brought Ganta, and I think Karinu was the other one.
No, you met with Jin. You brought Karinu and Suzaku with you.
I brought Karinu and Suzaku. Jin already went back, that's right.
Yeah, you brought Ganta, Karinu, and Suzaku.
So basically, I brought them all to train with Team Masho. For anybody who's not familiar with the Dark Tournament, Team Masho is the team of demonic ninjas that Jin is a part of. And we got to see Bakken, Gamma, Toya, Jin, and then, of course, their leader, Risho, who I adore because he is so much of an asshole.
You adore him because he's a fantastic punching bag too. I think
he is. He's wonderfully a dick. But basically, Naoki started training with them. He made a good argument that it'll get them stronger for the Dark Tournament. But this was actually a ploy to fuck over Risho, and steal Jin for his Naoki's own Dark Tournament team.
And Toya.
And Toya. Yeah, no, Toya came with us too. And so did Gamma, actually.
You
Bakken.
stole most of Team Masho. You left Bakken.
I left
Didn't you-
Bakken, the sweaty fucking dumbass.
You didn't even ask Bakken if he wanted to go.
I didn't want Bakken to go. I let Gamma because I didn't care about Gamma, so Gamma was okay. There was no way Naoki would let Bakken come with us. But Risho wasn't too happy about it. And I kicked his ass.
Over in episode 16, you all trained. You developed a special thing that we didn't talk about in game because that's your guys' choice to decide when you reveal it.
Yeah.
And in episode 16, it opened with Naoki fighting Risho and promptly kicking his ass. So this would be results of training now.
Was he like lower B at this point?
Naoki?
No, Risho.
He's lower B, upper C.
Gotcha. So, do I switch it over to episode 16 now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, also, Gamma and Ganta became best friends.
Also, too, you did hear from Jin about Toa saving Karina from the Black Club's
That's
feast
right.
of human vices, which is why she's so affectionate and like grateful towards him.
That will come into play important later. But also,
Karina has a big crush on Toa.
That's true. Another thing that I forgot about episode 15. I forgot to mention that Naoki tricked Ganta into coming with us under the guise that we're going on vacation.
Now, following that up in episode 16, after the 1 month, Ganta got strong.
He got fucking swole.
And results of training. After you guys got back, Suzaku spent the entire month beating up Bakken for fun.
Yeah.
Kunai said her goodbyes to her family, but they basically are like, you come back whenever you want to. This is your home.
Also, we have that whole telepathy thing, so no worries.
Yeah, you can keep talking with your family whenever you want to. And then, 1 second. Then Daisuke actually got his fortune read in episode 16, results of training, and then headed back. And when you all reconvened, you had some time to kill and to do what you wanted to do. And it was a pretty strange thing. Kunai went and proposed to Gentaro, proceeding for them to do the Beast with Two Backs in the middle of the flower shop. Daisuke went on a date with Sheena, where he proposed to her.
Now, was that completely coincidental?
I don't think... Did you and Dan plan for that, Noodle?
No, we did not. I don't think either of us were aware.
That's fun. And we're going to go over what was happening in the background with all this, too. Naoki went to the club.
Naoki was like, okay, humans away. I'm in a spirit detective agency with a bunch of demons, including Jin and Toya now. I suck at, Naoki sucks at Mario Kart, so we stopped playing that. So we decided to go to a rave instead. Where I apologize to how badly I've fucked up the Yu Yu Hakusho timeline.
Yeah, because he got Jin addicted to LSD.
I didn't know he would get addicted. I was like, okay, we're at a rave. It's the late 90s. There's probably going to be somebody selling LSD. There was.
And you also got Suzaku addicted to dancing.
Oh, yeah. Suzaku was dropping it hard. He, rolled a nat 20, I think, to dance.
Him and Karinu, they were fucking slaying it on the dance floor.
Yeah. And Naoki and Jin had a very interesting trip. And
Jin had a good trip. Naoki freaked the fuck out. And to explain what happened during this freak out...
Yeah.
So, the way it started with is Kunai going to propose to Gentaro, And while she's proposing to Gentaro, she comes across Genkai, who gives her some sage advice, while also going to get batteries for her Game Boy. After Kunai has proposed and they are passionately embracing each other, they hear the sound of police sirens going off as they see Genkai running down the street with a bag full of batteries and Game Boy cables at top speed. Cutting over to Daisuke and Shina, who are enjoying pizza and having a date inside of Turbo's Pizza. A police officer sticks his head in while they're mid-conversation and asks, "Did you guys see a woman with pink hair come through here? She just robbed an electronics store downtown." And Naoki's horrible trip came from seeing the TV with an image of Genkai, or who he assumes to be Genkai. She looks very young, on the screen, saying suspect is still at large. We have been unable to locate the suspect. Please be advised they are armed and dangerous. Causing Naoki to have a bad trip and pass out in a back alley with a stranger who's cuddling him.
Yeah, that was a super nice dude. He gave good cuddles.
But that was why the events that happened in there were the reason I decided to call that the results of training. That's what the hell you guys did with your newfound powers and abilities.
Listen, we have a lot of emotional turmoil on our hands.
I know you really liked having the whole Genkai stuff go crazy in the background with that one, Noodle.
Oh, I adored it. It was great.
Genkai's a treat.
Genkai's so much fun to play. She's in the top, like, in my favorites of Yu Yu Hakusho characters through this campaign. Moving into 17, entitled Little Critters.
Oh no.
Yeah, Naoki remembers this one. So, Kunai took a job. Nothing stressful. She just wanted to go, do some work, make a little extra dosh. She took Kira. Kunai spent the day seducing imps into an alley to knock them out cold and kidnap them.
I also pretended to be from the cult of Naoki in order to get one imp's attention.
It's true. It all was going well until Akira thought an imp was possessing a woman and he knocked out an old lady. Then the police started chasing you guys and you hid in a dumpster. It was a relatively chill day for Kunai, honestly. You got to just fuck around with Akira in nature for a little bit.
I like episode 17 because it's all of the main party doing completely different things with their own group of NPCs, but also is a good demonstration of how dumb everybody is.
Yeah. Daisuke went on espionage missions with Renka and Pyro.
The two stealthiest NPCs ever, obviously.
Yeah, Renka was showing Daisuke how she's been arresting Black Club members around the city. Which has basically been to just run up on them, beat them unconscious, and drag them back to the office. Sad fact is, Renka thought she was working on commission, which is why she was working so hard while they were gone for a month. She was very sad to find out she's not. But Pyro face-hugged a Black Club member.
Yeah.
He leapt off a building and just grabbed one of them by the face and strangled him out. Daisuke just started beating them, but the information they gathered was learning that they're working for the new hospital over in Roppongi. And the reasoning behind all this is Renka's investigations over the month, especially in the abandoned hospital that they found a few episodes back, revealed documents showing that the Black Club had been doing experiments on children. What they were fully, the party was not aware of at this time. But they did find out that Pyro had been involved when he was much younger, and this is information that they chose to not expose to Pyro at this time. And if you're wondering where Naoki was throughout all of this business and espionage, Naoki had to babysit as a favor to Junko.
Oops. Who again threatened my life, by the way.
Naoki had to babysit Mitsuki, her friends Jonuchi, and Anzu.
I remember you were telling me and Dan about that. You're just like, don't tell Batty. Don't tell him.
I had that one planned for a while, Betty.
You sadistic fuck.
It was always going to be Naoki.
Of course it was, because Junko knows she can threaten him at a moment's notice and he'll believe it.
You had a fun time. Why don't you tell me what babysitting was like for you?
So, you have Mitsuki, who, as, the little devil that she is. She likes, beating people's shins and stuff. But I bought her, weapons before, so we're cool for the most part. Her friend, Janucci, is that his name? I think that's his name. I don't care. Honda's little brother that we met a way long time ago after we saved him from that one demon. He's as dumb, if not dumber, than his older brother, and that's saying something. He likes to get caught and stuck in expensive vases, and he seems to have a talent of sneaking by Naoki and finding himself in a, probably $5,000 vase every 5 seconds. Which,
hey, Junko threatened you not to break anything in the house or she'd destroy you.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what made that terrifying. Then we have the literal devil herself, Satan incarnate, the little girl named as Anzu. Yeah. Anzu basically knows how to manipulate people. She's a little psychopath. And when Mitsuki and Jonuchi ran off, Naoki was asking her for help and to stay, basically don't mess with anything. And she kept, trying to make him, pay money to keep her quiet, essentially. She was trying to extort money out of Naoki using blackmail tactics. Super fucked up. Naoki, realizing that, oh no, I'm in over my head, Junko's gonna kill me. I need to call somebody to help me out. Okay, this is a bad idea, but I know the only person that can help me right now is Hideki. Hideki is like, oh sure, I'll drop off Hiroki, thinking that he volunteered to babysit Hiroki too and not have Hideki help him. So, not wanting to impose, Naoki also took care of Hiroki, who was an angel, by the way. I didn't have to worry much about Hiroki. He mostly took care of himself. But obviously Hideki wasn't going to help Naoki now. Okay, now for the final option. The, oh my god, I am out of options. I have to swallow my pride. I'm going to call Naomi. Naoki called his mother to help out with babysitting these kids. And her response was, oh gee, sure, I'll come. And she did. And for mostly the entire time, she just laid on the couch and got drunk.
And she just watched and made it worse.
Yeah.
She broke the fridge.
She did break the fridge. Fucking goddamn it.
And the cabinets.
And the cabinets, yeah.
And she got dirt on the rug.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
She did make them all sandwiches, though.
She did. That was nice. But,
Also,
one good deed doesn't forgive the sins. What?
They locked Naoki out of the house. And so Naoki polymorphed into a mouse to get back in. But the second he did that, Anzu put him under a cup with a book on top of it.
They're a little... They think I'm the demon. God damn it.
I think Hiroki let you out, didn't he?
I think Hiroki was the one that let me out.
But Naoki now has PTSD about turning into a mouse.
Yeah. At least Hiroki's a good boy. But eventually, eventually the little shits did fall asleep.
Junko came back later into the night, and all the kids went home. Hiroki had a fun time, and he was very happy to spend the day with you.
Yep.
And he was very impressed by all of that.
Yeah.
And Junko, as a favor for you watching the kids, gave you a little information on one of the Dark Tournament teams.
She did.
The last thing the party had to reconvene on was essentially knowing how they were going to tackle an infiltration mission the next day to successfully break into a Black Club hospital and get more information based on what they could find in the wherever it is. They didn't know what they were looking for initially. And that's how we lead into
Oh my god.
my
Episode
favorite
18.
episode title for any of these fucking sections. To be fair, Noodle, you did pitch Raiderade, and it was a very good name. I liked it, please don't get me wrong, but you have to understand when I thought of the name Temperamental.
I understand as well. Like, I completely forgot I had even pitched that at this point.
Okay, so temperamental, I need to phrase this. Because up until, was it episode 20 that we, had dealt with this, the sharks and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, up until 2 episodes later, temperamental was my favorite fucking episode of Final Phantasma. Because it is by far the stupidest.
Nothing should have worked. Nothing they did should have worked.
So the preface for this is we're infiltrating a hospital that was abducting children run by the Black Club and basically performing experiments on them, right? So everybody's like, okay, we need to sneak in there. We need disguises. We got disguises.
Daisuke went as Tuxedo Daisuke. He had to borrow a top hat from Ganta, which Junko was furious about. She said, don't give him a goddamn top hat.
He was dying to do that for ages.
Okay.
I had to give it to him once.
I'm gonna pull up the picture now, so...
Oh god, yes.
Filters.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Renka pretended to be sick. Daisuke dressed up as Tuxedo Daisuke. Kunai was the only one with a sensible outfit.
Kunai's like, oh, I'm gonna dress like a doctor because I am smart. I'm just like 1 point smarter than everybody else in this party.
Heyoki put on a nurse's outfit and dyed his hair.
Y'all thought we were going to an abandoned hospital.
Yes.
Noodle, were you the only one who was listening to me when I said that?
No, I had no idea, but I was just like, I have a feeling we're going to need to be sensible.
I was like, okay, we're going to an abandoned hospital. It's just shits and giggles. We can wear whatever the fuck we want. Naoki's going to dress as a sexy nurse.
He said this was an infiltration mission.
I'm like,
And, like, a large part of me is just like, if we need to get into disguise, this clearly means something.
and then, I think it was Naoki. I think Naoki got the bright idea that, like, okay, everybody's in disguise. We need one for Suzaku because obviously on a stealth mission, the 2 NPCs we chose to bring along is Renka, who basically solves her problems by beating the shit out of people until they fall unconscious.
With a pipe.
And Suzaku, who is a former demon overlord who is known for his sadistic malice and murderous personality. And Naoki was like, okay, we have a disguise for everybody except Suzaku. Wasn't there a guy dressed in a tempura outfit by that one seafood restaurant that we could probably steal from? And so we did.
And hence, Suzaku went into this mission dressed as a tempura because Naoki convinced him and told him it was battle armor.
Yes.
And it was the dumbest fucking thing, because none of it should have worked for them to infiltrate, yet they all rolled well enough to have things proc.
There was one line that saved our asses that Noodle said.
I said that they were basically hospital clowns and that they were there to entertain the children.
You made it work.
It really shouldn't have worked, though, Campbell. It really shouldn't, because they were an organization that knew what they were about. They are all about experimenting on children, and they wouldn't have been like, hey, let's invite,
No, it wasn't that you were invited. It was the reason they let you in is because people keep coming in and asking, like hospital clowns and stuff, because they think that this is a hospital for kids. So they let you in on the basis of that. If we do this once, we don't have to let anybody else in anymore, and we can make it look like we're keeping up appearances.
Well,
That's the only reason they let you in.
Well, the parents were asking to see their kids because they hadn't saw their kids in like such a long time.
So it was a good way to really like keep up the ruse that this is an actual hospital, not a fucking child experimentation facility.
Yep. Naoki got to pull some major seduction tactics, and I'm gonna kind of shrink this amazing image for a second to show you the other image of Nurse Naoki I drew. I'm not
seriously though, nothing should have worked. Nothing about that should fucking worked.
No.
Okay, transform, fit to screen. Look at this dumbass. But yeah, Naoki seduced some, not seduced as in like, he basically, tricked,
Heavily flirted with,
like, people, made it apparent that he was a nurse working there, even though he was wearing a Halloween store sexy nurse outfit. He was not wearing an actual nurse's outfit, by the way. That's important to point out. But he was able to sneak by, and pretend he was a nurse, and of course, because of Noodle's like top strats, she was able to get Daisuke and Suzaku in as well.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that the only reason why Suzaku was able to get in was because of an amazing demonstration I asked him to do, in which case he shows no fucking restraint.
Oh yes, Suzaku atomized one of the guards. He turned them into a pile of ash with sunglasses.
Yup, and impressed the doctor guy.
Also, the doctor.
Oh.
So, if you're familiar with Yu Yu Hakusho, the doctor running this place was Dr. Kamiya. He, in the future, would have turned out to be one of the seven psychic Sensui uses in the Chapter Black arc to manipulate and try to open up a portal to the demon world. He was the one running this hospital and seeing through some of the experiments.
Yep.
But as the party snuck in, Daisuke made his way through the children's ward where he entertained the kids and got information. And thanks to the actions of one brave little kid, managed to sneak his way down into an underground facility, while Naoki went ahead and found an office and snuck down before Kunai and the doctor and Suzaku went down after them.
As I was pretending to be a sympathizer with the cause.
Yep. And then as you had him alone in the elevator,
I tried to jump him.
which did not work out the way she wanted. As you tried to jump him, he caught on and immediately began to retaliate against you. Also, stunned Suzaku. And Suzaku was adamantly pissed after this.
Which, if it wasn't so scary, would have been hilarious.
Before they actually made it down to the base part of the lab where they could walk out, this was what was happening in the elevator. Naoki infiltrated the office and...
With the help of Rinka, I was escorting Rinka because I was pretending she was a sick patient.
Yeah, and I was about to get to the point with the fact that with Renka and Naoki combined, their intelligence was just enough. And that's sad, because Kunai could have probably found this by herself. But you and Renka are not the smartest knives in the crayon box.
Yeah.
They found a computer with documents on Black Club experiments and members.
Now keep in mind, this was like moments after Naoki and Rinka sneakily infiltrated through locked doors in the facility by beating the shit out of them until they broke open.
Yeah, no, you didn't have a key. Renka just looked at it and was like, all right, make and model. All right, number pad. This one's a 5-digit code. Okay, and she just broke it with a fucking pipe. Renka is not tactful, but you see how she's been making it in and out of facilities. As you went through the documents and research in the computer, you discovered what the club has been up to. The club and what they've done, what they tried to do to Pyro, where they had him listed as a failed experiment. The club has been trying to find children who are innately sensitive to spirit energy, and then over the course of developing and molding their powers, trying to get them to take on genes and traits of demons to create artificial Mazaku, beings with vastly high amounts of demonic energy, but still retaining their spirit energy. And so far, they've only had a couple of successes that the party knows about at this time. A lot of the cases have been listed as terminated, but with people like Pyro, where the case is listed as terminated, they can see that he's still clearly active, so there is some belief that they might have missed a couple. But the one you read in particular was about Shu. Do you want to talk about Shu, Betty? Noodle?
Do you want me to bring up his art?
Because we're going to go over him now.
Okay. Yeah, let's
What do you guys think about Shu?
He's scary, and I don't like you.
I think I adore him. Naoki's probably fearful of him. So why
Also drawn by Jack. He did this an hour during the session and got this shit, like, Jack was a fucking clutch friend for this.
Yeah. But yeah, no, basically, we found out, Shu, very high level, dangerous,
So it's fucking psychopath. Dangerous psychopath. Also, we find out pretty much right away that he's also related to Daisuke.
He is the adopted son of Sakio. Is that right, Cable?
He is Sakio's adopted son, as he states to Daisuke. And for the time in this episode in Temperamental, you just know he's Sakio's son. He tells Daisuke later on that he is adopted.
Okay. But anyways, while we're reading this file on this test subject that is highly volatile and dangerous,
listed as extremely dangerous in the file,
Daisuke is hanging out with him, so to speak.
Daisuke runs into him undercover, and I have to share this info just on his stats. Shu's insight is based on his wisdom stat, and he has a -3 to that. He is smart and calculating when it comes to fighting, but in terms of reading people, he's an idiot. Shu takes everything at face value.
Frankly, it's weirdly endearing.
And him and Daisuke almost immediately taking a liking to each other. And he's like, you know what? You're my best friend now. We're going to hang out after this. To which they will be doing later on. But Shu and Daisuke begin to, like, bro it up. And it was a very weird moment.
Which Daisuke doesn't really feel he has a choice about, though, because Shu is also still very scary.
Shu's the type of person where he saw the kids didn't want to stay in the hospital anymore when he got back up to the upper floors with Daisuke. Also said fuck you to a nurse who was basically trying to tell him what to do. Told them to release the kids, and then when a doctor gave him like an attitude about it, the kids and Daisuke watched as he broke this dude's neck by crushing it with his bare hand right in front of them. And then, see, you all get to go home now. Ain't that great?
Cute.
He Star Wars force choked a man, but with, like, not superpowers, it's just his own fucking strength.
Yeah.
Just the sound of children crying in the background.
You ever see somebody crush a plastic bottle in their hand? That's essentially what he did.
But with a throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, when the party was making it into the lower depths of the lab itself, Shu's very presence alone was forcing people to make charisma saving throws, just to even be around his general presence. Shu is a very, very deadly enemy. Who also seems to be Daisuke's friend.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, he's a Bugs Exposed fan. How bad can he be?
Bugs Exposed fans can be kind of stinky.
He's scary.
He's scary.
Especially if you're fans of Coco.
While Daisuke dealt with this and was making his way back up before the party left, they interrogated the doctor and got the information they needed on the artificial Mazaku project.
Which we got very lucky with, by the way, I want to add. That, because Dr. Kamiya was basically just gonna, like, revert, like, he was gonna torture me at first, and then Naoki found us.
Yeah. The thing I had to reveal about this is Kamiya's powers were weaker than they were in Chapter Black, because the Demon World portal is not as open as it should be yet. So, you caught Kamiya when he was a lot weaker. If you had fought full power Kamiya, it would have been a much different story. His territory would have expanded beyond the entire hospital. You wouldn't have been able to get away from him.
But yeah, so...
And I tell you this now because I guess, spoiler alert, they killed the doctor.
Yeah, we ganked him pretty hard thanks to a certain fox boy helping me out of what could have been a really good idea that I fucked up with.
And it was a good effort, Noodle, and like I said, this entire stupid fucking mission wouldn't have been successful without you specifically. But basically what happened is Naoki, because he was hiding off in the office room, he basically just hid behind the door and peeked through it, saw that, Kamiya was being a dick to his friend, and also Suzaku, who's, Suzaku.
Foaming at the mouth because he's paralyzed.
Out of sheer anger, and Naoki's like, hey, I have a knife that can electrocute people. I'm just going to try to toss it at him and see if it works. And it did work, and it did paralyze him.
You never really use it that much either.
I don't, because usually if I want to, like, do something, I use the Chains of the Abyss, because I have a little bit, like, it's a saving throw, not, like, a hit. So, but it actually worked this time, and we basically dragged him into his office while he was paralyzed, interrogated him, and then left the room so Suzaku could finish his business.
Yup. So, and what business was it that Suzaku finished?
Fucking becoming a living taser.
Yeah,
but more
Suzaku
deadly.
Destroyed that man.
Didn't we come back in the room and it was like covered in blood?
Yeah, and he walked out saying, "I feel refreshed."
Just look at all these.
Look at all the Kool-Aid.
These 6 dumbasses. Well, more like these 5 dumbasses and Kunai.
She's not that smart either. Like, we
You're...
call ourselves spirit detectives, but we all dumb.
Yeah, Kunai is just barely smarter than us, but that's not saying much.
Yeah. No, it was a rough sort of event, especially when you guys reconvened. The high and low of the artificial Mazaku project is they haven't been able to get the perfect Mazaku to be made just yet, but that seems to have changed with a being known as Fu, who is listed in their main base, and who Shu refers to as his little brother. And the party has not met him yet or heard anything about him.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Kamiya was also very interested in me being an actual Mazaku.
Yeah, he would have tested on you if he could have. He wanted your tasted giblets.
I don't want to give him my jibs. I want those.
You need those for killing.
I need those for living.
But the party had a rough day. They managed to break in and break out, mostly unscathed.
Yeah.
Nobody was in a mood.
Nobody was none the wiser when we left. Like, they probably found the dead body that was in the office and knew something was awry, but at that point, Shu had completely, like, shut down that facility. So, it's like it doesn't... We did it! We did it! A successful stealth mission!
They didn't come across her, but the party did gather research information on a person called Maya,
Yeah.
who
That's,
has very big significance to and a connection with her demonic heritage linking back to a demon called Yoko Karama.
Who is also canon, by the way, in terms of the manga, but she's not actually a Mazaku in that.
Yeah.
No, she's in a little like flashback two-shot thing for the manga, but you know what? I want her to be real. So she's real.
Also, we got demon drugs.
Demon drugs.
So there's an important thing I actually need to point out about this episode, because as previously stated, both me and Dan thought we're going to basically go to abandoned hospital like we visited in one of the earlier episodes that was run by Black Club people. And so I was like, okay, it's gonna go like every single fucking mission we do. We're gonna get in and then get out. The second we get caught, we're just gonna punch our way out of the situation like we normally do. I was not expecting high level like spirit or demons or like an actual hospital that we had to infiltrate. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this as stupid as possible. Thus why I think Dan was also on board with this too. Thus why we chose to have Rinka and Suzaku join our little expedition, because they are the least stealthy people.
Also because we couldn't take Pyro, because he's a good boy whose feelings ought not to be hurt.
That's true.
We could not take it.
Gonta would have probably been a better person to bring along for this mission, to be honest. And then it's like, okay, Suzaku's wearing a funny shrimp outfit, haha. But then no, it's an actual real ass hospital. Oh
and
no.
We convinced him that. Did we say that we convinced him it was armor?
Yeah,
yeah, you convinced him that it was fucking battle armor. He felt powerful.
It's fucking shrimpy outfit.
Or rather, you guys did. I was taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Kunai was the good detective. But that was Temperamental, one of my favorite fucking episodes. Moving up into episode 19, unless we didn't miss anything for Temperamental, did we?
I don't think we did. I think we covered everything. We got demon drugs.
Episode 19 takes place the same day after the party has done everything that they had to do with the hospital.
Yep.
And this episode is called Phoenix Down.
Don't want to get copyright. Come on now.
Cool. This episode was a very good one. It was a big kunai episode, too. This one involved the party pretty much with the rest of the day at their disposal to do whatever it is they pleased. Naoki and Daisuke, I believe, went to the Makai to get new clothes. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
New fighting clothes. Or,
Yes,
as
right.
you like to call it, fighting panties.
Basically, our dark tournament outfits, kind of.
Yeah. And Kunai had a sweet moment where she took Renka shopping, because Renka doesn't actually have... it wasn't fully stated, but the origin for Renka and Karinu is they were actually homeless living in Roppongi and sort of fending for each other and like living for each other. So with this being their first real jobs they have at the agency after helping out with the Saint Beast missions, Renka's never really had as much money as she does, nor has she ever had the ability to buy herself new clothes. So Kunai took her shopping, and Renka was very self-conscious about the whole thing. But she was very happy to be going with you.
And I'm glad, because she deserves nice things.
Mm-hmm. You also took Suzaku with you shopping.
Yeah, well, don't forget that he was also put on the line with one of my family members and was mad-dogging them the entire time.
Oh yeah, he was fighting with Kunai's cousin Amida, which is it's Kagura's younger brother. Suzaku was having an argument in his head with a voice nobody else could hear, and Suzaku was getting angry. So it was just, whatever. Well, big talk for somebody who won't show their face. Well, I don't see how that's relevant at all. Oh, can you hold on, please? Can't you see I'm on the head? It was a wacky time with him. Suzaku went underwear shopping with Kunai and Renka and Karinu.
And he paid no attention because he is very dense.
Didn't he get some fighting panties?
No, he was like, why would you wear clothes under your clothes? It just gets in the way. And then he was getting ready to strip and he was going to be bare naked.
Bare naked in front of a group of ladies? That just sounds like a band name of some sort.
Who, I can't think of one.
Yeah, bam.
It's Bram. Suzaku freeballing. A big point for this episode, though. A not so fun point to remember. Kunai had a run-in while they were clothes shopping.
Yeah, with their former band members of the baby metal idol group.
We did explain that they killed you.
Yes.
And they didn't recognize her, but the former, Idol's second most popular member behind Kunai was mad dogging Kunai horribly and giving her a fucking I would kill you again if I could look. Not knowing that it was actually her. She just didn't like her. And
I tried using some of my Jigon powers on her. It didn't work. There's some kind of fuckery going on with that one.
You picked it up. You feel like with the doctor, it might be psychic energy. But the way Kunai's interactions for this episode ended were with her essentially deciding that she was in a bad mood and pissy. And Suzaku.
Oh yeah, that's the whole reason Suzaku was following me in the first place, because I agreed to do a sparring match with him at the beginning.
Yeah. So Suzaku was in the mood to fight. So they teleported, well, they had China bring them into Naomi's shop, where they proceeded to have a fight, where the Itan Momen were. But prior to that, Daisuke went to that shop with Naoki.
And Honda.
And also Honda.
Yeah.
Because Daisuke wanted to get his Dark Tournament outfit, and Honda wanted to prove he was strong. And Honda almost died to a shirt.
Yeah.
He had to assert his dominance.
He didn't. He almost shirt himself.
On the bright
Daisuke-
side, Daisuke got
won.
his Dark Tournament outfit, which, if you want me to show off now, I can.
Yeah, put that Dark Tournament up there.
Okay, this is the outfit that Daisuke is gonna wear to the fucking Dark Tournament. Dan drew this, by the way.
Yeah, you can put all three of them up, actually, if you want.
Okay, so, let's start off with Daisuke. So, there's Daisuke's. Can you describe what Daisuke's Dark Tournament outfit is?
So, Dan had a fun idea based on the item he got built from taking parts of the Saint Beasts. So, Daisuke's Dark Tournament outfit is a combination of all the different Saint Beast things. So, it's a stone band on his arm for Genbu. His jacket is made off of, in the pattern of Byakuo. The dragon going around his waist is for Seiryu, and he has Suzaku's pants. And that bracer he's wearing on his wrist actually gives him the ability to use the powers of the Saint Beast once per day, but whatever random Saint Beast it lands on. Naoki's Doc Tiny Mid outfit.
Treats form, 50 screen. Don't worry, I need to crop it real quick. This is Naoki's Dark Tournament outfit. As you can see, it is very normal-esque. Naoki didn't actually have to fight any of the shirt demons to get this because it was basically just normal clothes. Naoki,
His mommy gave them to him.
yeah, Naoki has the unarmored stuff on him, so if he actually wore armor, it would probably not be as good for him. But his mom made him this outfit that he actually had kind of in mind himself, but didn't have to fight any nasty demons. There's a little bits of Junko in there with he has a big ass ponytail now, as you can see, And he also has pink tinted glasses, also similar to Naomi.
You said Junko with the ponytail.
Did I say Junko? God damn it.
Oh, you're thinking of her as your mom.
God damn it. Fucking god damn it.
Right.
It's like there's two moms in this series. They're
Post in the comments if you ship Junko x Naomi.
Technically, there's 3, but we don't really talk about Michi much.
Michi will be more relevant when she's at the tournament.
Yeah.
Michi's gonna be a fun mom.
I don't think Cable's gonna want to draw Lutz and Michi, unfortunately.
No, Michi's sweet. Yeah, and then we have Kunai's Dark Attorney.
Which is the second of which, and I'm still thinking I might redesign.
I like both of your designs too.
I really like this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's very fitting, and I notice now looking at it, I chose pretty much the same color scheme as what I made for Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can kind of see Kunai's demonic father in the right, like, upper part. Same sort of color scheme. It's pretty cool.
I like the color, I'm sorry.
No, he's pretty cool.
Also, side note, Gamma became best friends with Gonta in the interim of him being here. They took Gamma, Toa, and Jin from Team Masho after Naoki won.
Yep.
So, Gamma's been working with Gonta as sort of like his new assistant along with Seth. Toa has been put on the payroll temporarily. Jin is also on the payroll on a probationary thing. But they don't really go on missions. They're only used as like assistants for full-on spirit detective agents. So most of the time, Jin took a liking to going to the club. So Jin just goes to the club and he keeps doing LSD. Because Naoki gave him a problem.
Naoki is a problem.
I'll never forgive you for that, Patty.
I'll get him into rehab. Don't worry. Naoki's...
That's Daisuke. You're gonna get him into Daisuke.
I'm gonna get him into Daisuke. Daisuke is gonna fix him right up.
To be fair, it doesn't seem to affect him the way it affects humans. Like, Jin won't die from it because he's a demon.
That's it's still fucked up.
Yeah. Well, don't say it like you didn't do it.
Listen, I gave him one tablet. He decided to extend it more than that.
Listen, 1 tablet's all you need to develop a fucking problem, Patty.
God damn it. Listen, Naoki can handle his hallucinogens. It's not my fault that Jin can't.
Jin
You know
does
what
too
you
much
did.
of it. But regardless, Daisuke won his new fancy clothes
Yeah.
and actually managed to defeat the Iton woman.
Yeah.
But basically, after foaming at the mouth for like hours on end, Kunai and Suzaku had their duel in the middle of the clothes area, to which Kunai won.
Yeah.
She soloed Suzaku, who, as I told her, the previous Suzaku from the St. Beast arc, who she couldn't beat by herself, this was post-training Suzaku, who was stronger than that, and she beat him one-on-one.
Yeah,
Pretty fucking
good
badass.
times.
Oh, also, Naomi basically put up... I forgot it was Sheena. She basically put up a shield around everybody else in the shop to protect them from the fight, except Naoki, who was a little too late to get inside the barrier.
Because you decided to play things like a dumbass.
Listen, Naoki didn't decide that. I asked if Cable if it would be okay, and he allowed it.
Yeah, and that's why Naoki almost died in that fight.
Yeah, he didn't interfere in it whatsoever, but at the same time, he kind of got electrocuted every time Suzaku missed kunai, and then also had to see if it hit him.
He missed me a lot, by the way. I was surprised.
Some of those were intentional to hit Naoki.
God damn it.
No, I'm just messing with you, Maddie. It's fun. The big thing after defeating Kunai and Kunai passing out, Kunai used her signature ability, actually, this fight. Noodle, do you want to describe what that is?
That is Yoki Slash. It is an ability that if it hits, it's automatically a critical.
And where does it come through? The feat.
Shiganshi heritage again. I'm tired.
I gotcha. So, in training with her family and understanding like her demonic ancestry's energy a lot better, Kunai unlocked a specific feat unique to her called Giganchi Heritage. This allows her to channel not the full-on Giganchi form, but a Mazaku form, which gives her like tattoos reminiscent of eyes all over her body.
Yep.
It enhances her. Yeah, it enhances her power and makes her significantly stronger for a little bit of time. And she had a very, very intense duel with Suzaku and actually managed to beat him.
Yeah.
And the way the episode ends is upon the defeat, Suzaku, who was infatuated with Junko due to her tenacity and fiery personality, told Daisuke, "You can have the woman in the shop. Tell her her services are no longer needed. I have found my new queen of Maze Castle." They also convinced Suzaku to join them in the Dark Tournament by saying that the wish he could get at the end would allow him to revive Maze Castle, which is what he's planning to get from his wish at the moment.
Yep.
And Jin's just helping as a favorite in Naoki.
Yep. We need to actually say who our Dark Tournament team is. Fuck.
Yeah, we completely glanced over that.
So, obvious ones, Naoki, Kunai, and Daisuke. There's Asu, Zuzu, Iskai, Zuzu. And Jin, I drew Jin a matching Dark Tournament outfit similar to Naoki's. Hold on. Get ready for this shit.
I really love this outfit.
Look at this debauchery.
He is a good boy, and you made him violently Irish.
I didn't... Wait, are you talking to me or Cable?
You.
Okay.
You designed his outfit, you silly mans.
I did design his outfit. I didn't know you're talking about Cable's accent.
You did. Listen, Gene was already violently Irish, you just upped the ante.
I upped the ante. And, also, our boy Pyro. Hit the screen. He is our, we basically have 5 members in one alternate. So, if one of us goes down or we want to switch somebody out, we can. But Pyro is part of our Dark Tournament team now. And Noodle designed this very fucking Pyro-esque outfit.
I really dig this Pyro outfit. It's fucking good.
Not gonna lie, I stole most of it from Urza from Fairy Tail, but I attuned it to a male body.
Still works. Also, Pyro's got his hair tied up in that picture.
I like his look with his hair tied up.
It's very good. He's gonna get all the ladies.
So, that was Phoenix Down, episode 19.
Yep.
And moving into episode 20. This is back to a tour de form. This is back to some good old-fashioned detective work on you guys' part.
Oh, okay, let me change up the thing. Because this is actually my new favorite episode of the series, episode 20. It was a very Naoki-heavy episode.
The Fox and the Hounds. One of the big points of this mission starting up was Suzaku basically asking Kunai about a wedding she never agreed to.
To him specifically, not the one that she was already planning.
Yep. And it was very strange. They had most of the people in the office. Hideki was actually around for this conversation. And the earlier parts of this, before they actually went to talk to Yamada and learn about their mission for the day, they all had a pretty interesting conversation, and some realization was dawned on Kunai and Daisuke that Kunai is going to outlive Gentaro by 200 years because she's a demon, and also that everybody else is going to outlive Daisuke because he's a human. Caused Kunai and Daisuke to get a little introspective as the days went on. But they went to Yamada, who told them about a mission they were going to be taking in Fukuoka. And they interviewed Officer Yoshi and some little shit delinquents who were a part of the Fukuoka Bloodhounds. How do you guys want to let's like recap how all this was at the beginning?
Dice, oh my gosh. Naoki, I will not forgive you for that. So when you went to interrogate the hooligans, you basically outed Kunai saying she's alive.
Oh yeah, no. I did it to fucking scare them into telling me what I wanted to hear. Basically, the mantra of the police officer, which is kind of understandable. He's like hard on the delinquents, but his like mantra is that there is potentially good in everybody, and he's trying to prevent like them from going down a road that they can't go back down. If I'm remembering correctly, right, Gable?
That's him.
Naoki, who is a scumbag, who has always been a scumbag and always will think of himself as a scumbag, is obviously very skeptical about that. Skeptical, god damn it, English. And he decides to very rudely interrogate one of the kids by scaring the shit out of him. So it's like, hey, what's a dead celebrity that you can think of? And he's like, oh yeah, Kunai Sachijin. Points over to Kunai, who's obviously among the living. Gets a little scared. Naoki turns his head back. He has Kunai's face. Basically scarred that kid for life.
Really did.
That guy's gonna need to go to like years of therapy. Not my problem.
But
We
you guys got the information you get from those kids.
We learned that I forgot his name, but we learned the name of the leader of the Hellhounds.
Oh, Rao.
Rao. Fucking Rao. Did we learn anything else from them?
You learned that Rao would mostly know. You didn't really pick too much off of them. They were just little shit delinquent kids.
Okay. Did we establish that all they were brought here because there was a strange string of murders of their gang?
Oh, yes. So, the main reason they were even brought out to the to Fukuoka is because there is no branch for a spirit agency there, and they were out there researching, like, you know, why were specific people dying in this one spot. So you guys were sent to investigate it because Officer Yoshi believed that it was some type of anomaly the police couldn't handle. You guys detected that he had a very, very minute sense of spirit energy, which was probably what was leading him to pick up on what was going on. But you headed out to Fukuoka. You had a fun trip on the bus where Naoki antagonized old people.
Yeah, so basically Naoki at this part in the episode was very perturbed about what Officer Yoshi said about how like there's good in everybody. So he explicitly was acting out to prove him wrong and was purposely harassing all of the old people on the bus on the way there. Both purposely and not purposely to some extent. He basically did very rude things, like he put his feet up like on one of like an old couple seat. They complained to them. He basically told them off. There was this one lady that Murugu was messing with and basically brought her back to Naoki. And because he's bad with human ages, he like assumed she was like 100 and something. She
slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah, and she just smacked the shit out of Naoki. And then there was like a weird moment where like Daisuke got real with Naoki all of a sudden. He basically was just like very straightforward, like asking, like, I forgot what he was talking about specifically, like, basically, like, if there was anything wrong, or, like, just, and also, like, inquiring about, like, stuff that Daisuke has been concerned about, specifically with the fact that he, is not going to live as long as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
What was Kunai doing on the bus ride over?
Kunai being very, very sad that, she's not going to have the, life that she wanted with her boyfriend slash fiance at this point. And she came to the realization that she ought to just, call it off. And by call it off, she means erase his memories entirely, because it's more painful to her to live a life with him and have him, die in front of her than to just let it go now.
So Kunai called Karama,
Yup.
and Karama agreed to help, actually revealing that this isn't something that he's had to go through something like this before.
Yup.
He didn't give you any specific detail on it, but he told you he understands why you need to do this and that he was going to be there to help you with it when you got back.
And so she was an emotional bundle of nerves this entire trip.
Lastly, on bus ride 2, Daisuke called Shu back to arrange a time to hang out the next morning before Shu had to depart for a place called Hanging Neck Island, where the Dark Tournament's going to be taking place.
Yeah.
And we can address what they did next time, but through the bus ride, the party sat. They had little conversations with each other here and there. They got introspective, but for the most part, it ended with them landing in Fukuoka around, I think it was 7 o'clock.
Something like that.
Yeah. To where they immediately began their research and went to the place where the cars and the bikes were crashing. And were accosted by a very hostile spirit of a person named Hiromasa. He was the last known leader of a gang called the Fukuoka Land Sharks. He died in a fight with the leader of the Bloodhounds, and has a very sort of like hostile, vengeful spirit the party picked up on, assuming it was just going to be a revenge tale. So they agreed that they would bring Rao to him if he would pass on once he was defeated. However, the party also did pick up on a massive amount of spiritual energy coming from deeper in the woods, to which they chose to investigate. And they came face to face with someone they were warned about previously by Koenma, a rogue spirit detective. Well, they were warned of a rogue spirit detective named Shinobu Sensui, who they had no information on. But coming to this portal, they met with a demon named Itsuki, who, if you haven't seen Yu Hakusho, it's Sensui's right-hand man.
And boyfriend, if you are, paying attention.
Yeah. As they basically avoided certain death by fighting with Itsuki and the party left, they split up, with Naoki actually doubling back to go and talk to Itsuki again.
Naoki basically told Daisuke and Kunai that he was going, I think, ahead to explore part of the town and interrogate, like, people in street corners, when secretly he went straight back to talk to Itsuki, because Itsuki said something that perked up Naoki's ears specifically, and he wanted to get more information about something.
Mm-hmm.
This was
Trade-off.
This was
Go ahead.
straight after the party was, like, getting the fuck out of dodge mode, out of, like, Itsuki basically threatening us and like trying to, like, scare us into, like, backing off, I guess is the best way to put it.
Which was very effective, I might add.
Yeah. So basically our party was very aware of what this guy could do. And
We're scared.
Naoki decided to go back and talk to him.
As Naoki went back to see Itsuki, however, he was not only met with Itsuki, but he was met with a tall man with with tanned skin and slicked back hair. One Shinobu Sensui,
Yeah.
who relayed to Naoki his reasonings and what's going on, at least in a vague sense.
Naoki basically made it clear that he is interested in potentially working with Sensui for a specific reason, of which was not made directly clear, and Naoki specifically whispered something into Sensui's ear that basically instantly grabs Sensui's attention. Now, I sent Cable what he said to Sensui confidentially, so
Yep.
nobody...
We won't reveal it.
Yeah, nobody, not the party, not people who watch the streams, nobody knows except me and Cable. And the encounter basically ended with Naoki making it clear that he is willing to help Sensui and they have similar interests in mind, but he will not blindly follow another man. To which Sensui replied, Cable,
Believe you me, Naoki, the days of demons having to follow the orders of man will soon be coming to an end.
yep. And Naoki left.
Sensui
you
left
didn't
first.
have
He disappeared
to
into a void.
watch- You didn't have to watch Chapter Black. You got lucky there, you asshole.
I got lucky and I might be betraying the team. Oops.
You are a traitist.
I'm in Tratus. But do you want to talk about like the DC with the Chapter Black stuff? Cable.
You beat out that DC on Chapter Black by like 1.
So basically, if Sensui was able to roll a good enough insight check, I believe, to determine how powerful I was, like in terms of like my actual power, he would have tried to recruit me further by making Naoki watch through all of Chapter Black. Cable, for those unfamiliar with Yu Yu Hakusho, do you want to tell them what Chapter Black is?
Well, fair people listening, Chapter Black is one of Spirit World's most confidential items. It is a videotape. For you kids who are in the more modern century, videotapes are what Netflix used to be in small bricks. But Chapter Black is a record of humanity's most worst and like horrible atrocities that they've ever committed on human to human or human to demon. It's basically a record of every horrible thing humans have ever done and condensed into one videotape.
Yeah.
And it's enough to drive certain people insane. It could make a normal human, as you can see in Yu Yu Hakusho, hate their very own species. And since we hated humans before he watched Chapter Black, he only watched it to confirm his hatred.
That didn't help.
And he almost made Naoki watch it.
Yeah, that would have probably changed some things, but
That would have fucked you up bad.
yeah, Naoki probably wouldn't have been there for the rest of the mission.
You wouldn't have been too friendly to Daisuke after that.
But yeah, no, so after that encounter, Naoki walked back into town where Kunai and Daisuke...
We're already doing some investigations in a bar. And by investigations, Daisuke was getting hit on by a lady. And Kunai was...
I
Blurred.
forced him to take the young lady.
Mm-hmm. And Kunai met with a very older, like, bar woman who told her that the leader of the Bloodhounds was the drunken fool over at the back of the bar.
And I attempted to seduce him
Which did work for a little bit.
until I fucked up again.
Yeah, you tried to Jagan binding curse him. It didn't work out the way you wanted it to. As that was going on and Naoki came in, Naoki convinced the young lady who was talking to Daisuke that they were a gay couple.
Yeah.
She was very supportive of it.
Naoki did this because he thought Daisuke was cheating on Sheena and got super fucking pissed off.
And Daisuke's an idiot and didn't realize he was getting flirted with. He was like, "Oh, she's kind."
Oh, God damn it, Daisuke. You
But-
sweet summer child.
After some finagling and luring and random stealth checks after the drunken fool left the bar, Naoki polymorphed into a very vivacious woman, lured the man over into an alley when nobody was watching, and Shackles of the Abyssed him to slam his head directly into the ground, knocking him out cold.
Hmm.
Now let's get to everybody's favorite point of the night. Kunai, what did you do next? After you found his keys in his pocket.
Don't you start with me, okay?
Noodle,
We
what did
robbed
you do?
him and we took his keys.
And you did what?
I drove a car that I had no business driving because she doesn't know how to drive.
No, drove a car is what people do when they drive a car normally. What happened when you tried to drive the car? There was somebody who was near the car. What happened to them?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. He is a fucking punk. He was holding a gun at the window. I hit the gas and I ran him over.
Maybe it was dark. Maybe he was holding a Bible.
He was a Mormon trying to teach you the word of Joseph Smith.
Oh no. I would have run him over based on principle for that one. I'm kidding.
Noodle's kidding.
So, apologies to all our Mormon Final Phantasma fans.
Is it the Mormons or Amish who don't use technology? I don't remember.
Amish.
Okay. So, I lost my train of thought.
Fuck. Yeah, no,
Could I manslaughtered somebody with a car?
yeah.
Yeah, she hit him. They saw a news report later. He did not survive. But they drove this man's car up to the grave of Hiromasa.
Yeah.
After which the spirit realized he could not harm this man since he didn't have a physical body. And Naoki volunteered to let him possess him.
Well, let's slow down here for a second, Chief. We rolled to see who he wanted to possess. It happened to be Naoki. And Naoki at that point was like, okay, sure, why not? I'll let you possess my body, and you know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I can transform back into your old form.
Mm-hmm.
So I let him possess me and have one last fight with Ro.
Now, what were you met with when yours and his memory sort of collided during the possession?
I saw his story, of his life. I basically, vision goes on. I'm like, okay, he's, just gonna be your standard, gang leader, scumbag sort of, hooligan sort of type. Find out that he actually had a family, had a little daughter and a wife, and oops, that final match between him and Ro, it wasn't a honorable one-on-one fight like he was told it was going to be. Basically, all of the Hellhound, or a lot of the Hellhounds, backing Ro up, came at him armed to the teeth with weaponry just to take him out and kill him.
As Naoki saw this, he realized even with his defeat and all that, his major regret was not that he lost to Ro. It was that he couldn't be the better dad he wanted to be for his daughter. He couldn't be alive to watch her grow up. And he regretted everything about not being able to do that. So much so that this was the only way he could find peace, but he wasn't even happy with the defeat. It was more he just missed her more than anything else. And he, even in his death, he regretted everything. After the fight, and after he beat Ro to, like, basically to death, they put Ro in the back of the car and they fucking launched it off a cliff to get rid of the evidence. So they committed grand theft auto and first-degree homicide, but it's cool.
Yeah, no, don't worry. It'll show up on an autopsy report that he was drunk as a skunk, so
Yeah.
we're in the clear, mates.
But he was in the back seat, but alright.
Exactly! He's very, very drunk.
The chauffeur got away!
As you guys made it back into the sort of township, Aoki went to the person running the bar, who was actually Ro's wife, Hiromasa's wife, and even surprising Naoki in her sadness, anger, and everything, she told you straight out, if you talk to the idiot again, tell him he's selfish, he's an asshole. I forgive him if he'll rest easy knowing that.
I think that's the first time Naoki's cried during the game.
I think we ended it with you guys getting back on the bus.
Yeah. That was also, like, really nice, because Naoki was about to be rude and call her grandma, but it's like, nope, I've been a dick. This lady deserves peace of mind, at least as much as I can give her. And I need to tell her this because she needs to know. And we had a very touching moment.
It was a very sweet Naoki moment.
But yeah, we went back on the bus and we went back to office.
Mm-hmm. Early in the morning, as you guys got back, Kunai immediately called Kurama.
There we go.
Kunai had to wait around for a little bit for Kurama to wake up. But when he did, Kunai and Kurama went and they went to Gentaro's apartment while he slept to wipe his memory clean. You want to talk about that point, Noodle?
Yeah. So they went to his place. They rummaged through the things to get all the mementos and stuff. Ultimately, what she's thinking at this point is that it's better to let him live his life as a human rather than do something silly like, oh, I don't know, wish for him to become a demon in the Dark Tournament against his will. So she's asked Kurama to help her wipe his memories so that he can continue living as a normal man.
As they rummaged through, they found a letter from Gentaro's family. So Gentaro is going to be moving to the States. He's going to live with his family over in America. He's going to have a nice time. But it was a very hard moment for Kunai. Even Kurama himself was very, choked up helping you do this. And he wanted you to know that you were strong for doing it and not selfish. Kunai almost told Kurama about a person named Maya, but Kurama had told her that I need to be focused for this tournament coming up. So please don't tell me what it is you have to tell me right now. So I don't think I will be able to resist doing what I have to do if you tell me something like
There's no
what I
message
think it
in your
is.
face.
As they separated and left Gentaro's place, who should have followed Kunai in stealth but Suzaku? Confused and wondering what this whole sensation of human emotion that they care so deeply for somebody else was. How did you feel about that moment with Suzaku, Noodle?
That was really powerful, if you ask me. I really enjoyed it. It's literally Suzaku asking what love is.
He doesn't understand it. What Suzaku chose to do in the moment was get Kunai to punch him so that he could take the pain from her while also having her not think about it for a second. Because that's how he can rudimentally try to understand this. Because he just doesn't get it. demons don't have to do this type of like emotional like vulnerability with each other, or at least it's not common. So this was Kunai's first inkling that while he doesn't get it, at the very least Suzaku is trying to. And that was sort of the, as you guys got back from that, it was decided that you just needed to go somewhere to get a fucking drink. So as you got back, you went with Naoki to the Makai to get a drink.
At like 10 in the morning.
Yeah, like fucking lushes. But we're gonna get to that after we circle through Daisuke's quick little. Daisuke had a lovely pancake breakfast with his older brother. They shared a very tender moment. Daisuke got a lot of information on Suzaku that he didn't have before, and in learning that Sakyo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like that doesn't make any sense. Silly.
Now, like after we do this, I forgot there's one important Daisuke and Naoki thing that I need to bring up, but I'll save it after the pancake breakfast.
The pancake breakfast was them covered in syrup at a place called Flappo's. Fucking Shu is super excited to see that he's got a brother who's going to be fighting in the tournament. He's offered to do Daisuke a favor in the final round if he has to be an alternate for Team Toguro. And he basically bought an arcade with Sakyo's money simply so that Daisuke can have a place to go hang out. And told them, just let them know you're with me and you'll be fine. But he was a very nice guy. As they had a nice breakfast and left, then somebody bumped into him and he bisected them in half without even thinking. And then just waved back and went, "Bye, Daisuke." So, while he is a very nice guy, he still has no qualms about being a mass murderer.
You know, you have your faults.
Yeah, that being said, I am actively in a relationship with Suzaku.
It's still a bit of a gray area what it would be called technically.
It's very gray, but it's the fact of the matter remains that Suzaku is also a kind of a mass murderer.
Yeah.
But that's Yu Hakusho for you.
Yeah.
I remembered what Daisuke and Naoki were talking about on the bus, because Naoki was basically talking about, and this is important because it goes into a conversation that they had when they got back to. And I just want to address this because Deanne's not here. So Naoki basically had a conversation about he doesn't really believe, like, in the fact that there can be, like, good in everyone. To which, like, of course, Daisuke's response was, that's bullshit. Like, he at least believes that there can be some good in Naoki. And Daisuke was telling Naoki about his Dark Tournament wish, which he said on stream, right?
I believe he said it on stream that he wants to wish to. I think he'll be fine if we say it.
Oh.
I think he said it on stream though.
So basically, he's very determined to win the Dark Tournament because he's going to wish himself to have a longer lifespan, so he will not die significantly sooner than his friends and loved ones. Specifically, like Sheena, Naoki, and Kunai. Naoki at that point had mostly just given up in a way. Like, he was still doing spirit stuff, like spirit agency stuff, because he had to, and he was still, like, doing the jobs that he needed. But he was convinced that Dark Tournament would be a death sentence for him. And after kind of getting that speech from Daisuke and having them return after having that moment with the lady, Naoki realized that he also really wants his wish to come true, like, super fucking bad. Which he still hasn't told anybody in the party, by the way. But, he's 100% determined that Daisuke has basically convinced him. He used to think Daisuke was just like an idiot that was in over his head, but like he's thoroughly convinced that he is going to have what it takes to win the Dark Tournament, along with Daisuke. And I think when they got back, he said a similar line to like Kunai asking if she was determined to win at this point.
Yeah, this was sort of the episode where everybody's like, everything was laid on the table for the party, and you all sort of like had your resolve moment. Like, it's not so much, are we going to win this tournament? You've all made the decision. You are winning. Even Suzaku gave you guys a little bit of a speech beforehand.
Yeah. Suzaku pretended to be sleeping, but that bitch was awake and listening to us the entire time.
Yo. He's weirdly inspirational when he chooses to be.
Yeah.
There was a lovely pancake breakfast with Daisuke, and then Naoki, with his newfound resolve, what did Naoki do next when he went to the Makai?
He went to the betting booth, took back all the money that he put on Team Toguro, and put it on Team motherfucking Ganta.
Because Ganta registered the paperwork wrong.
So, our Dark Tournament team is registered as Team Ganta. But Naoki, realizing that he needs to do this, made one final Dark Tournament bet and put all his money down on his own team.
And with Kunai and Suzaku there with him, the reaction from the people in the bar was underwhelming, save for one gentleman who proclaimed very loudly, "All right, I like this Fox season determination. I see you being all brave. You know what? Let me put a little money down on them too." The party, around 10 in the morning, met Shu, who was already very drunk by the time they got there.
Now, we need preface, not Chu.
Chu, the Kenon man in the actual series, who is a raging alcoholic.
Purple Mohawk, knife edge deathmatch, Yusuke's first big fight in the Dark Tournament.
Yeah.
The leader of Team Rakuyakai.
And we were foolhardy enough to get drunk with him.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fucking cattywampus. The party got absolutely snackered with Shu, tried drinking Ogre Killer, almost gave most of them cirrhosis of the liver. Kunai took a lot of damage.
Yo, I had 3 HP by the end of that.
Yeah. But the drinking with Shu, the partying, and just the casual nature of the whole event led them to have a very sort of like good time until Daisuke came and sobered everybody up. But in a drunken state, Kunai actually called for her cousin Kagura to come up and visit. Kagura ascended from the parts of the Makai where the Giganshi stay, moving extremely fast, mind you, made her way to the upper parts of the Makai, and met Naoki for the first time, who did not remember her name.
Nope. I thought her name was Kagome.
Kagura had a nice time. Sheena broke some rules to pull Daisuke into the fucking Makai really fast while he was doing laundry, because she could not deal with all of you guys being drunk. And with Daisuke, Shu, Naoki, Kunai, Kagura, Sheena, and I think I said Daisuke, but if I didn't, Daisuke, you all decided, well, what are we going to do with the rest of our day? We've been drinking. The party decided to go play some video games at the arcade that Shu just bought for Daisuke. And in an act of brilliance, Kunai, remembering she had the Reiki Yoki band, slapped it on Kagura. Now, the reason this is important is to leave Demon World and enter into the human world. There is something called a Kekai barrier, which stops any demon that is A-class or above from entering into the human world just for public safety. Kagura and most of the Giganshi are already A-class demons. based on a law that was established by Spirit World in terms of like their protection, they are not allowed to interfere with things like the tournament or any big public matters. So she couldn't join their team to fight. But they also could never leave Demon World because of that barrier. The barrier only stops Yoki from passing through. And the Reiki Yoki band they picked up very early allows the user to radiate the opposite energy that they naturally do. Thus, Kagura was a Reiki user while she had the band on, and they were able to basically sneak her across the border into the fucking human world.
So she could play video games.
Oh yeah, she partied it up in an arcade with them all night. Kagura, they did this on the agreement with Sheena that they would bring Kagura back at the end of the night, just because they can't really have her there. It's a big risk. But she's not a bad person. Kagura's very nice.
She is a good cousin.
They partied it up. They had a good time. Chu stole a lot of alcohol from the bar and told them to put it on Risho's tab. And as we closed out episode 21, which was entitled Something to Chew On, the next bit of time is a 2-month time skip, and where we'll be picking it up from there is the beginning of the Dark Tournament arc.
Fantastic.
Which I want to add, it's going to sound crazy because I created Gintaro from just because she needed someone to have connections with. I am now actively trying to romance Suzaku, which is not what I was expecting originally, but there you go.
Oops.
But for the most part, that is the recap of all 21 episodes of Final Phantasma to date. They're very big highlights. There are a lot of moments that can't be captured. There was too many, I think, to count for all the fun that we've had over these last couple sessions. I personally have my favorite moments from this. There's so much I think that just was so good in seeing us all roleplay and do this. But Final Phantasma's done, everyone. The next episode we do, that's Final Phantasma Dark Tournament.
We are headed into motherfucking Dark Tournament.
If you like Yu Yu Hakusho,
You know, you could say we're DTF, except it's not fun.
if you like Yu Yu Hakusho, if this was your favorite thing, watching this anime growing up, or watching it later in life whenever you saw it, or reading it in the manga, or however you saw it, it was mine too. And I promise you all, I'm going to do my best to do this justice. So, get amped, get hyped. Hashtag Dark Tournament, everybody.
Hashtag
21
Dark Tournament, bitches.
Hey.
21 episodes, we are there. Next time we come back, let's fucking do this.
I am super fucking excited.
And lastly, just before we go, for the artists and everybody who's helped out in this so far, thank you to Nifty Art, thank you to Luigi Shiku, thank you to fucking Noodle, Batty, Dan, anybody who's ever drawn a little bit of art for Final Phantasma or made something
Jack.
Jack.
Can't
Thank you
forget
to
about
Louise for the music for Final Phantasma. It wouldn't be Final Phantasma without you. It really wouldn't.
Oh, absolutely. Your music is killer.
Your music made Final Phantasma what it is, dude. Thank
We're gonna
you so
slap
much.
links in the description.
Oh yeah,
of this video.
definitely.
Thank you to Kevin MacLeod too. You know, you make free music, dude. You don't have to do that, and it's appreciated that you do. Always happy to throw you a plug.
Thank you to this wonderful, stupid asshole known as Cable Provider for DMing this entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ninja Dan's Funhouse, Noodle Laser, and Battery Batty for being players in this stupid, wonderful thing.
I'm so glad. And, like, Cable, you really are a fantastic DM. Like, I
Really?
do... Yeah.
Thank you very much. I feel the same about Bugs and Bones with you, Batty.
Well, thank you.
What is Bugs and Bones, you ask? Why don't you check that out? That's our other one. If you like Hunter x Hunter, come check that out too.
It's basically this series, but with Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I don't have to plug Digimon Knighthood because it's doing it for itself.
Digimon
It really
Knighthood
is.
our most watched series on our channel at this point.
But anything you guys want to say on Final Phantasma before we sign off?
Nah.
Yeah. I hope more people watch this. I hope more people like it, and I hope that more people tune in for fucking Dark Tournament, because we're gonna fucking rip that tournament a new one.
Hell yeah.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear, motherfucker. Okay.
Final time for anybody and everybody who checks us out and like what we do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad you loved this little passion project we put together. It means the world that people listen.
Yep.
You're all beautiful, and I hope you get Corvettes. But I think this is the time to sign off, Patty.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.